Oh, my professional background. Undergraduate degree in sports medicine or exercise science. I was in the athletic training room. Minor in athletic training, minor in psychology. Was fortunate enough to go straight from my undergraduate studies to University of Miami, and in their medical school, they actually have the physical therapy school. So part of my education was at Jackson Memorial Medical Center. The other part was at the Coral Gables campus, University of Miami, and they're known for their sports, and I got quite a bit of background education, both sports medicine and weight training, strength conditioning. And while I was at University of Miami, I also started looking into becoming a certified strength coach. So at the point of graduation from Miami as a physical therapist, I had also just become a strength coach. And I feel like ever since I've had a foot in each profession, because where they meet is not a hard wall or a hard line to me. Great conditioning and great athletic development does prevent injuries, and the soundest rehabilitation does blend you right back into the most constructive and corrective exercise programs you could be. From my education at University of Miami, I started studying manual therapy, and that's not just using the modalities in physical therapy. That's actually getting in with your hands and learning joint mobilization, manipulation, soft tissue things. Most recently, I'm even getting into some of the needle work, using the acupuncture needles, but more in a way called dry needling, getting into the soft tissue and trigger points. So I am first and foremost a clinician. And I have a love for strength conditioning. Most of the professional athletes and teams that I work with usually seek me out for an injury or a problem or an evaluation or a solution or an answer, but usually I wind up rolling up my sleeves and showing them some stuff in the weight room or getting into the off-season conditioning program or something like that, simply because I believe so much in that preventative aspect. And that has led me in my professional studies, my professional development, my professional affiliations, and all the guys on the front of the book with me. We're basically saying, hey, wait, we can prevent a lot of the sports medicine issues and orthopedic issues that we treat. But we have to do it on the conditioning side. We don't just do a better form of rehabilitation. We actually can get in there and look at early warning signs of injuries and risk factors of musculoskeletal and orthopedic injuries and do things on the conditioning end, on the screening end, on the preventative end, and not just simply rehabilitate people, because what we're finding now is if you've already had an injury, there's a greater likelihood that you're going to have another one. And that doesn't say a lot for the rehabilitation profession. So instead of trashing my own profession, I wanted to say, have we missed anything? Can we collaborate with exercise professionals? Can rehabilitation and exercise professionals basically tear down that fence or tear down that wall, communicate more effectively? And if anything, the entire work in functional movement systems is a different way to use our semantics, our vocabulary, and our communication so we can discuss movement, movement risk factors, exercise and rehabilitation in a very concise format so that nobody's left behind and everybody knows what's going on. Many of the situations I've been involved in professional athletics is simply seeing where information does not pass freely between the conditioning and rehabilitation entities in those professional sports. And so sometimes we're improving communication simply with a systematic approach where everybody's involved. I honestly think that didn't start out to be my life's work, but since I've enjoyed the exercise professions as much as the rehabilitation profession, I think that is soon becoming a need that I see we need to fill. We've got very intelligent professionals out there, and sometimes it's simply a semantic problem or a systems problem. People get hung up in their particular methodologies instead of looking back at principles that drive human movement and human motor development. So I try not to get sucked into debates about certain methodologies or is this better than that, simply because all I do is shop a method against a principle. If it looks like it fits, we basically run a baseline, run some samples and see, does this authentically change the way people move and put them in a category of less risk? If so, it's a good thing. If not, it's a bad thing. That's so far what I've done professionally. I write and lecture, but my true love is actually doing. I've just been very inspired and very lucky to work alongside some amazing professionals and get some amazing feedback. And so a lot of my inspiration, a lot of the things that have made me excited, they make it into my writing and lectures, but for the most part, I like doing the exercise and rehab stuff.